22nd of May and it's snowing.
You're John. I'm Dave.
It's a nice and sunny day.
Muhammad Ali.
He's got a heart made of yellow barley straw.
But you know, when I was in school and in the choir, or because the whole class would sing at Christmas time and so on, quite often I was told to just, the words.
Yeah.
You in the back there, just keep your mouth shut and just pretend you're singing.
Pretend you're singing.
So,
When I was
I'm sure I'd be happy to sing now. I've got to redress that. Actually, the Roy is a hell of a singer.
Who?
Ted's you're a good singer.
Roy's a good singer.
And Ted likes to sing, and I think I can, but nobody's ever had the audacity. Actually, Martin Schwartz from New Waterford, Nova Scotia, drunk on a bus once, told me I was a good singer. And the reason I remember that is because that only ever happened once.
And that hasn't happened since.
It hasn't happened since, and that was 28 years ago. But and Hummer knows the first two lines of every song ever written.
But after that, it's...
So I think we should
You and I
definitely
are
sing.
about the same.
But
Someone's in the kitchen with
Dinah, someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah, strung on the old banjo.
singing
Fee,
high.
fi, fiddly-I-O, fee, fi, fiddly-I-O, fee, fi, fiddly-I-O, strumming on the old banjo. Hey. Okay, what would you like us to sing?
Hi, I'm John.
And I'm Dave.
We're the Hardware Guys.
Row, row, row your boat.
Can you give us an example, maybe?
Not. I would like to,
Row,
but
row.
row your boat gently down the stream.
Merrily, merrily, merrily.
Merrily, life is but a dream.
You're supposed to come in.
Oh, I can't remember how to sing songs truthfully.
Oh, okay.
Bye.
I'm Shane Stuke, and these are my chickens. And that's it from the chickens for today.
Kids of Note is a group of wonderful singers, and there's about 25 usually in the group, and it's made up of half of the children being what we call typical, and the other half of the children are special needs. That is to say, in this case, they all have intellectual challenges of one sort or another. It's not an auditioned choir. They need to love to sing. And that, I think, is what has made the group really work, is that each of the children has shown that they have a passion for music, for performing, for having their voices heard. And so they share that in common, and I think that's what helps everybody get along. It's a spirit that you see in each child, and their clear need to communicate with an audience. During rehearsals, it's kind of a different thing. They enjoy one another, and especially when they're learning new music, I think they get a kick out of practicing those songs, and they participate in, say, actions, which actions we're going to do. They make them up for the group sometimes, so there's a real participation that way. They even have solutions sometimes to problems. Like we did a song that had harmonies last Christmas, and I was trying to figure out a way to indicate to the children that were singing harmonies when they should start. And it was one of the children, a boy with cerebral palsy, who came up with the solution for me, and that was that I should put my hands together in this shape, because the shape of the harmony singers within the choir was essentially a triangle. And if I did that, then everyone would know that was when it would start. So, I mean, it's really becoming very much a team effort. Certainly I direct, but I take direction from them as well. And that shows me that they're really interested. And the business of the audience, every time we've had an audience, they rise to the occasion. My daughter was born, I wanted to nurse her, and because she has Down syndrome, that was a trickier thing to do. And so I was given the name of Dee Cole, who was a mom who had a child. At that time, she would have been about 7 or 8 years old. Her name was Allie. And she had managed to successfully breastfeed her daughter. So from the hospital, the first person I ever called in the throes of all the shock of the situation and everything was Dee. And we had this wonderful conversation about, what it's like to unexpectedly have a child who has Down syndrome. And we became friends because of that. She gave me some encouragement and some tips about nursing Tori, and I was successful in the end in doing that. But then we also ended up going over and having a visit with Dee and her family and meeting, at that time, Allie. And Dee told me the story about Allie wanting to sing and she tried to work in a choir context with some local choir, but it just wasn't set up to meet Allie's needs. And so I thought about that for 2 years, and remembered at her age, like 7 years of age, I knew back then that I wanted desperately to sing. And I wondered what that would be like to not have any place to go. I always had choirs to go to and places to sing. Anyway, long story short, after a couple of years of really thinking hard about it, I decided to try and start this kind of a choir and see what would happen. Dee and I worked on it at first together, and I got her advice, and some connections in the community, because I had a lot to learn about the disability community. And that was how it began in September of 2005. I'm just really grateful to have the opportunity to give them a place where they can safely and without judgment, just be performers. I really think of it as a spiritual thing, and that we're all blessed with a unique soul, a unique spirit, and that soul is expressed through the kind of talent that you bring to the singing. The arts often they're given short shrift in the importance they really have to the full development of the human being, right? It's amazing, really, yeah. I would never have predicted 20 years ago that this is the kind of thing I would end up doing. And it's been such a blessing in my life.
Oh, wave, okay, I'll wave late. There we go.
Free coffee too. And this is $2. And do you want a mustard one or a plain?
Mustard.
Okay, and yeah. Well, just this and mustard. In plain we have French bread, and yeah, the same bread. So,
and how much is it?
$2. Thank you.
Can I have 2, please? How much are they?
50 cents. Would you like some coffee? It's free. Don't have to pay anything.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Sisters from Space. When I was a boy, my older sisters were Martians, tall, graceful creatures from a distant planet who had learned our language, learned to pass, fooling even my father and mother, but not me. They were not hostile, these aliens, one with her long blonde braid, the other with her books and laughter, but not entirely benign. They had no need for force, for they could kill with a look, a word chosen carefully, no, carelessly, could maim. I learned the signs, knew when to take cover, how to defend myself, but still, they left scars. Eventually, as I grew older, they grew into themselves, allowed themselves to forget that other world they'd come from, the radioactivity that used to pulse beneath their perfumed skin cooled, but their power over me continued, continues even now, as we grow old. They may have forgotten who they are, but I haven't. In the dark, when they thought I was sleeping, my eyes were open. I saw them.
Morning, Donna. No, not bad. Nice and sunny out today. Bit of rain last night, but that's okay.